Oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows in Toronto, isn't it? Oh, yeah, look at that, eh? Sick to my stomach, fam. Today we are talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and a lot of current events that have held up in the hockey world over the past few days, because when it comes to this team in particular, my goodness, have they been putting on the absolute worst kind of show for their fans. Now, I'm not talking about the games they're playing. Oh no, the games they're playing are entertaining. They're fun. Like, the pace, the goal scoring, the talent, the pizzazz, it's all there. Toronto just recently played off against Edmonton, and before that, 2 games ago, they played off against Colorado. You see Matthews and McKinnon and McDavid going out there head-to-head. The Islander game, you're playing off against Johnny T's former team. They're still booing him every time he has the puck. Lots of storylines, lots of entertainment, and the hockey, for the most part, is pretty fun to watch. Until the end. Because, the Maple Leafs have blown multi-goal leads recently. They've blown leads recently. They lost against the Islanders in overtime. That was 3-1. The Islanders won 4-3. You then had the Colorado game, 5-3, but the Leafs were up 3-0 in that one. The Red Wings game, that wasn't a multi-goal lead loss, but the Wings still spent the majority of their day at the airport, so the fact that the Maple Leafs blew a 2-1 lead and lost that one 4-2 is pretty bad as well. And then yesterday, they had the multi-goal lead 2-0 against the Oilers, and they lost that 1-2. This Maple Leafs team has dropped 6 possible points in their last 3 games after having the lead in all of these games, and now that cushion that they built up, oh, they swept their California road trip, oh, they're a good team, they're still going to be in the playoffs, they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to make it, right? They're guaranteed to being in there. No, you got to stop that. They're not safe, they're not secure, they haven't clinched. In fact, if you go over to moneypuck.com, which takes a look at the way these teams are playing and how their playoff odds are shaping up because of it, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now at a 70% chance of making the playoffs, which is not 100. And in fact, if you were given, let's say, a 3 out of 10 chance to not make the playoffs, you have a random number generator of 1 to 10. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 mean no playoffs. Numbers 4 to 10 mean yes playoffs. You'd be kind of worried if you do that draw. 3 out of 10 is not nothing. And the Maple Leafs, with their overall progression into this year, playing off against some good teams like Colorado and Detroit, who has been sort of on a mini heater as of late, and then, of course, Edmonton, the Maple Leafs proving that they still have a lot of that old juju in them, the blown lead juju, the Mike Myers thing going up here. Yeah, that's not good. And right now, if you take a look at the NHL standings, the Maple Leafs, they are in the 3rd place spot in this Atlantic Division. Yes, 50 points, 42 games played, but that cushion, as we had talked about, is not really there. The Red Wings are 1 point behind, same with the Lightning, although the Maple Leafs do have fewer games played than both of these teams. And if you go over to the wild card, it's not even just that. Assume one of the Red Wings or the Lightning pass the Maple Leafs for 3rd overall in the Atlantic Division, and the Leafs have to settle for a wild card. Well, right now, the Leafs are at 50 points. Take a look at the Penguins, the Caps, and the Islanders, and the Devils. They all have 48, 48, 48, and 47 points, respectively. Some of these teams have games in hand over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's super tight, clogged up in there. That bottleneck in the Atlantic Division, it's going to be tight. Just the wildcard race itself, 5 teams are separated by 1 point in the wildcard race for both wildcard spots, and that's only 1 point below what the Maple Leafs have right now. This team cannot afford to sit back and revel in their cushion that they built of points from other teams. You are in the fight right here. Sure, you're dropping games to teams that don't really matter in your standings. It doesn't matter if you get 2 points taken away by the Oilers or the Avalanche. They're in the West, who cares? But you're not bolstering up your own stock. And sure, obviously, NHL teams want to win games. It's not like the Maple Leafs are deciding to lose out on all these points and tighten up that wildcard race, but this team and the way they play, the blown leads, the consistency, the Sheldon Keefe firing. This team is on a road trip right now, so I don't know if there is like a chance that Keefe gets fired anytime soon, but This team needs to toughen it up, dude. They're playing the Calgary Flames, who have been on a mini heater as of late. Tomorrow, they've got the Vancouver Canucks on Saturday, whom, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of worried for that game, because if the Maple Leafs end up showing some sort of resilience, which is rare, but it does happen sometimes, then the Canucks could actually have themselves a run for their money, but it's not guaranteed, so we'll see. But the Leafs then have the Kraken next, the very next night, actually. And the Kraken have been on a pretty good run as of late too. Sure, they dropped the past 2 games, but still, they were on like a 7-game win streak before then, so they are doing something right. And then the Jets next week. This road trip could be seriously detrimental to the Maple Leafs if they continue finding ways to lose. The Devils, the Capitals, the Penguins, the Red Wings, they're all there. They could take that wildcard spot, and there are 2 teams that may take that 3rd place Atlantic Division spot right in the mix as well. We know this team is talented, man. We do. We know that there are good pieces, but the way Brad Treliving has set this team up, utilizing some of the money that was freed up here, it's kind of mind-boggling. You talk about the Tyler Bertuzzis, you talk about the John Klingbergs, you talk about Ilya Samsonov, and you take a look at some of the other bargains around the NHL, like, hey, Zach Hyman, that guy is making a pretty reasonable cap hit for the 50-goal production that he's bringing to the Edmonton Oilers. So what gives? It's these bargain deals, man. It's gotten to a point now where Matthew Knies is probably unjustifiably being given a bunch of criticism when he's like an entry-level guy. He's fresh out of college from last year. When you have that attitude where one of these brand new rookies who was in the NCAA just 12 months ago is supposed to be the savior of the franchise, like, nah, bro, that's not how it works. You relying on Matthew Knies to be one of the top guys when some of the other top guys are not pulling their weight, that's kind of wild. William Nylander admittedly played a little bit better in the Edmonton game last night, but he still has not been as good as he could have been after that contract was given out to him, after that, $90 million deal was given out to him. So there is so much going on with this Toronto Maple Leafs team that could be losing their footing. They've been losing a bunch of games. They've now got a tough Canadian trip ahead of them, and all I can see is fans of the Wings, the Lightning, the Capitals, the Pens, the Devils, the Islanders, all just salivating over this, because there is a legit opportunity to take advantage of a team that's on a slump, possibly at the worst time in the season. They had a cushion, yes, but now that cushion's gone. They need to start winning games if they want to go out there and secure their spot in the 2024 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Could you even do that with the way things are going now? You gotta hope that everything comes together soon, right? You're not just lollygagging in your own zone waiting for Ryan McLeod to shoot the puck because all your Maple Leafs players and forwards and defense are all crumpled up in front of the net. Like, couldn't even get that game to overtime. You couldn't. That Islanders game was a slobber knocker, but at least you got to overtime. You got the points. You distanced yourself. Now it's been 3 games since then. Nothing. The Florida Panthers, you're not battling them anymore. You're battling everybody else. You're battling the Wings and the Lightning and these other Metro teams for that final wildcard spot if you manage to lose out on that 3rd place Atlantic position. So, Maple Leafs fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How are you feeling about everything aligning the way it is, where all these other Eastern teams are finding ways to claw and scratch for points? The Maple Leafs have been on a slump. It's entertaining hockey, but they're losing games in a fashion that must be absolutely draining for the fan base since, hey, nobody likes to see multi-goal blown leads, which is exactly what you've been seeing in the past 3 out of 4 games. And the other game, where you did lose, you lost to a team that was at the airport for most of the day. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Where do they go from here? What is the winning strategy? Do you change the coach? Do you change the goaltending? Do you change the plans? Do you change the lines? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.